Hey friends, this is Jeff and Yael Morgan. Today we're going to be talking about some issues, some problems that people have to deal with when going vegan and how we personally deal with them.
Yeah.
Now, occasionally I get comments from other vegans about why I'm not healthy enough, or whole food enough, or raw enough, or why do I use supplements, and on and on. And this gave me an idea for a video topic because I feel like it's a good one to tackle.
Yeah, I see comments like this all over the internet when vegan are bashing other vegans for not being healthy enough or vegan enough. And I feel it can be very harmful for the movement.
Yeah, it is harmful because, people can lose sight of the overall goal here, which is to educate people and help people understand the overall benefit of switching to a vegan or plant-based diet, which can happen instantaneously for some, but for most people, it's like a gradual evolution into, health and compassion.
Yeah, we just want to make sure that people stay focused on the goal, which is a change in global awareness towards veganism and health.
Yeah, and it can be really discouraging if you're a new vegan and you're being bashed on by other vegans about specific topics that we're going to get into right now.
Yeah. And the first one, you're not eating enough whole foods.
Yeah, you're not eating enough whole foods. It's a big one that goes around and a lot of finger pointing in this direction. But I think that there's so many products in the world right now that are helpful with transition.
Exactly.
People are so used to what they're eating. They're used to eating meat and cheese and eggs and so forth. And they want to know, it gives them comfort to know that there's something out there that they can go to while they're in transition that gives them something that they're used to.
Yeah.
So I think psychologically, it's a fantastic thing. It might not be the healthiest thing, but it's really great for transition.
Exactly, yeah.
And to give people their comfort, knowing that they can do this
Right.
and still eat foods that they're familiar with. And the next one, you're sitting on leather seats? Now, I understand the mindset in this one because, as a vegan compassionate movement, we're trying to distance ourselves from anything that was made from suffering of another, from an animal's body. But to look at someone and say, hey, the car you've had for the last 5 years, you need to ditch and throw in the trash and get a new one.
Buy a Tesla.
Buy a Tesla, exactly. I think they have vegan versions, right?
That's right.
They actually have a vegan version, if I'm not mistaken. But, you shouldn't be sitting on leather seats. You shouldn't have leather shoes on. And we actually, as a family, got rid of all of our animal products in the house. Anything that was made with, wallets, shoes, fur, pillows with feathers in them, everything that had an animal in it or used an animal for it, we got rid of.
Right.
But to make someone feel bad that they still have a car that has leather seats in it, or they're still wearing shoes that are made of leather, see, this is a process that people have to go through.
Yeah.
And we hope that they get to the point where they remove these objects from their life. But we have to consider where people are emotionally and where they are in terms of their transition.
Right.
So if someone has gone vegan, say, a month ago, and they're still driving a car that has leather seats in it, I don't think it's necessary to bash them for having leather in their car.
Exactly, yeah.
As long as we keep focusing on the ultimate goal, and that is to remove the world of products that were made unnecessarily from the suffering of other animals.
And the next one, you get this one a lot. You're not raw.
Yeah. Don't you know you're supposed to be eating raw? We're designed to eat raw food and not cook food. I get that one a lot in my comments.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of debate in the vegan world whether people should be eating raw or cooked food or a combination of both or just cooked or just raw. And it can kind of drive you crazy because you're trying to figure out what you should be eating. You're trying to feed a family. You've got rice on the stove and some lentils that you're cooking.
Yeah.
You've got a great salad that you've made. And suddenly you're getting bashed on by someone who's saying you shouldn't be eating that food. And what you're really trying to do is provide nutrition, nutrients, and calories for your family and make sure that you have food that you love
Right.
and that you'll eat regularly so that you can maintain your health and go towards better health. Now, I believe that it's good to have raw food in the diet, but I also believe that it's great to have cooked food. It helps with calorie content. Sometimes cooking food helps release certain nutrients that are easier to absorb, and cooked food can give us tons of energy. Now, I love raw food because of the freshness of it, the enzymes in it, the liveness of it, the vitamins and the things that are in it that really make me feel alive and energetic. But I don't think that we should look at people and say, you should be raw because I'm raw and it makes me feel good. I think there's great benefit from both styles.
Exactly, yeah.
Now, the next one is a big one for me, and that is you shouldn't be eating so much protein. Now, a couple years ago, I was eating about 10% of my calories from protein. I wasn't eating that much protein, and I felt fine. But I'm an athlete, and I have athletic endeavors. And now I'm going through my own bodybuilding journey. And what I found was that I've had to increase the amount of protein that I eat to meet the demands of my new intense training, because I'm tearing my body down and I need the protein to help me rebuild, recover, and get stronger. So I've had to up my protein intake considerably, and I've found and I feel that it's been very helpful. So the concept of how much protein do we need is really individually specific. Everybody's going to need different amounts. Yael's going to need less than I do. And somebody who might be the same height as me, who has a sedentary lifestyle, will need less as well. Somebody who's older, somebody who's elderly may need more than somebody who's in their 40s, with the whole issue of sarcopenia. So everybody in their specific space has their own specific protein requirements. So a lot of vegans are on this low protein kick because it's almost like a revolt against animal protein. So when switching from animal protein to plant protein, a lot of the studies are showing that the animal protein is what has the negative effect on human beings, the animal protein and the animal fat. And if, so say you're eating 100 grams of animal protein per day and you switch to 100 grams of plant protein per day, well, the animal protein was too much. Now, the 100 grams are still 100 grams, but the plant protein is not too much depending on your specific needs. So it's the kind of protein that we're talking about. And you can totally overdo anything. If I eat 300 grams of protein a day, I'm going to be taxing my system. I'll probably be storing some of it as fat, and so that won't be healthy for me. So I have to find my optimal levels. But, to bash people that they're eating too much protein, I think is counterproductive, because we don't want to make people fear protein, which is an essential nutrient.
And the next one, every once in a while we get comments that we're not active enough.
Yeah. We should be out on the streets, we should be marching. And I got to say, first and foremost, I have the utmost admiration for those that do that.
Yeah.
I think those are the videos that I watch the most on YouTube, are the vegan activists out there that are going out there, putting themselves on the street, putting themselves in these situations that sometimes are dangerous for the sake of these animals. And I absolutely love that. And I think it's vital and important, and it's something that we may actually do someday. But right now, we're showing our activism through bodybuilding, through fitness, through healthy recipes, through healthy lifestyle. We have a family, we've got 2 kids to raise, and we're not at that space
right now.
But that doesn't mean that we may not be. So for activists to become angry with people that are not on the street with them, I totally get that. I totally get that, because there's passion there.
But it's not suitable for everyone.
Right. Not everybody's going to be in that space, and not everybody's going to become that person. So we have special people out there that are doing this and inspiring a lot of other people to do that as well.
Amazing.
So so let's just accept where people are and understand that people will evolve into different versions of that.
Different version of activism.
Right. And you never know. The person who is the humble, quiet person that just wants to be vegan in their own space may be that activist a month from now.
Right.
Because as we all know, going vegan takes an incredible amount of change in beliefs, change in lifestyle. So if someone's willing to do that, then they could be willing to do a lot more. So we have to give them that opportunity and that support. So the last one I like to talk about, because I've interviewed quite a few plant-based doctors, and I plan to interview a lot more, and they give some amazing health advice. Now their perspective is, do certain things for optimal health, and I love that. And I've taken a lot from plant-based doctors. But occasionally you might find yourself eating beans from a can, or occasionally you might find yourself eating something that's not organic. Or you may put some oil on something, or cook with some oil, or put some sugar on to sweeten something. And I believe that these things are okay. Now, if you really are adamant about going towards optimal health, you may want to reconsider, adding things like refined oils and sweeteners to your diet, and maybe limiting the amount of refined products or processed foods that you eat. But to feel bad about going against something that a plant-based doctor says shouldn't really weigh on your conscience too much. Unless, of course, you're just eating a bunch of junk food all the time, which can be harmful to your health. But even then, the person has still made the transition to a plant-based diet. So I think what we're trying to say here is that there needs to be a compassion through the vegan community towards other vegans that needs to be a lot more widespread.
And we feel that this movement is about empowerment.
Yes, we want to empower people, because people for so long have been under the spell of industry and under the spell of the medical profession, and we want to give people their power back. And when someone says, okay, I'm going from an animal-based diet to a plant-based diet, whether it's healthy or not, it's still an empowering decision. And this movement is about empowerment. So if someone wants to use some oil or some protein powder or doesn't go on protest marches, they're still doing a world of good for the animals and the environment, and we shouldn't lose track of that. Now, of course, we want to encourage optimal health, which is why we make the videos with the doctors and why we cook with healthy ingredients. But we also understand that everybody will be in their own place with regards to their vegan path. So if you're new to Guilt Free TV, hit that subscribe button and you'll be the first to know when new videos come out. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Guilt Free TV, Facebook Guilt Free TV, and the website guiltfreetv.org. Until next time, stay compassionate, stay understanding.
We have a cow.
Do you like talking? Until next time, stay understanding, stay compassionate, and keep it vegan.